Do it! Do it!
Come on, kill me! I'm here!
Come on! Do it now! Kill me!
I am Batman. Average Sniper.
What's up, guys? Average Sniper here, and welcome to another Battlefield 1 video. I am doing great today, and I hope you guys are doing great too. I want to thank you guys for being subscribed to this channel, and if you're not subscribed to this channel, then you can get the hell out of here. I'm just kidding. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thanks for watching the live streams, guys. Been having so much fun every Monday, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Alright, let's get into this video once again about sniping in Battlefield 1, because sniping is my favorite thing, if you didn't already know that. Sniping is my favorite thing. Sorry, I got carried away. Okay, so using the Gewehr 98 with the 8x scope and a straight pull attachment. Just kidding, they don't have a straight pull attachment in Battlefield 1 unless you use the Gewehr M95 or maybe an infantry version of a other rifle. Okay, so today I don't really want to talk about the Gewehr 98 though, or any specific sniper rifle. I want to talk about the most frequent question I get asked in the comments and in live stream chats. And that question is, what's my sensitivity? Now, why do you guys want to know what my sensitivity is? How is that going to help you? I'm gonna explain this the best way I know how, because I have made videos about sensitivity before where I showed my settings and I made recommendations, but this time I am going to go into detail about it, and if I don't have enough time, or if I have too much time, I'll talk about accuracy, precision, and other things like that. So sensitivity. Now, let's say you're on YouTube watching a guy snipe and you're like, man, I like how he's sniping. I want to be able to snipe like that, or shooting, or spraying and praying, or whatever he might be doing. I like the way this guy plays. I want to play like that. So apparently the first thing that pops into most people's minds is, what sensitivity is he using to do that? Well, let me tell you why that doesn't matter. Okay, so it matters a little bit, but let me tell you why you're asking the wrong question. Alright, sensitivity is different for different people. You might have one guy that plays on a super low sensitivity and does really good. You might have another guy that plays on the highest sensitivity that there is and still does just as good, if not better. Then you might have another guy who plays somewhere in the middle between the lowest sensitivity and the highest sensitivity, and he does good too. So if all three of those guys do good, one on low, one on medium, and one on high sensitivity, what sensitivity should you choose? That'll fuck your mind up, won't it? Okay, there is no perfect sensitivity for anyone, and this applies whether you're PC or console, whether you're mouse, or whether you're controller. But if you use a keyboard, there's a special sensitivity. I'm kidding, there's no sensitivity for your keyboard. It doesn't matter whether you use a mouse or a controller. This video applies to you if you're wondering about sensitivity. So sensitivity basically comes down to how quick you can react based on the sensitivity you have. I'm sorry, I said sensitivity comes down to that. I mean, acquiring your target comes down to how quick you can react and what your sensitivity is. Now, if you are, let's say, like a really fast-paced, up-close and personal player, spinning around, shooting people, obviously you want a high sensitivity. If you're a real slow player, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's different. Some people are like twitchy and they like to move super fast and do things super fast. And then there's more people that are slower and they like to be accurate and take their time. And then there's people that are right in the middle. That's what I consider myself, right in the middle. Some days I'll be like, I can quick scope anybody. I can run in there and take objectives and nothing can stop me, you know, and some days I'll be kind of slower. I'll be like, all right, I want to stay kind of medium range and just be more accurate, you know. I have my days all the time where I feel like I cannot survive by just running in close range with a sniper rifle. It doesn't work like that every time. And it all comes down to sensitivity. Now, do I change my sensitivity when I'm having a slow day compared to a fast day? No, because I realize that I'm diverse. I have, you know, days where I go fast and days where I go slower. So I found a sensitivity in the middle that works for me. I'm not even going to tell you what my sensitivity is because it doesn't matter. That's the whole point of this video. My personal sensitivity does not matter to you, alright? Because it's all about muscle memory, alright? You pick a sensitivity that works, that feels good to you. It might take you some experimenting. Start low and gradually move higher. If you go too high, you'll notice because you'll start getting twitchy and you'll have trouble, you know, moving the target on people. You might move the target past someone. If it's not getting to them fast enough, then it's too slow. If it's moving past them too fast, then it's too fast. So find the middle ground. The middle ground is the best place to be. You want to be somewhere between the slowest and the fastest, unless you are the slowest or you are the fastest, which you're probably not, but maybe somebody watching this is like, hey, I actually am the slowest, so I'm going to go with 0 sensitivity. Not sure I'd recommend that, but if it works for you, then go for it. Everybody's totally different. Everybody is totally different. No two people are the same. No two fingerprints are the same. No two brainwaves are the same. I don't know about that. I'm just kind of bullshitting you guys. No two snowflakes are the same, and no two snipers are the same. And no two sensitivities are the same unless both people are using the same sensitivity. Okay, I'll stop. So basically everybody's different, alright? So when it comes to sensitivity, you gotta find what works for you. Don't worry what your quickscoping buddy is doing, or your long-range camping buddy is doing, or the guy that plays halfway between the objectives is doing. It doesn't matter. What matters is you. So practice. You got to get out there and practice with the different sensitivities. Now this next part is really important. Once you find the sensitivity that works for you, remember it, keep it, and never, ever change it. See, this is where the muscle memory comes in, and this is where you can really mess yourself up. This might be the reason a lot of people say they just can't get good at a certain video game no matter how much they practice, this and that. This, I believe, all comes down 90% of the time to the sensitivity that they're using. I've seen so many times where people try to set their sensitivity at like the highest setting and think that if I can get used to the sensitivity at the highest setting, I'll be unstoppable. That's not true. You have to basically already be used to it. You can practice and get fairly decent at anything, but if the sensitivity is too high for the type of brain that you have, it's not going to work out. So once you've found your perfect sensitivity, keep it there and let your muscles get used to it. This is called muscle memory. This is where your muscles can start responding to the sensitivity you're at without your brain having to tell them what to do. See, when you go to a new sensitivity, there's too much involved in it. Your brain has to say, okay, I'm at a new sensitivity now. I'm going to have to think and calculate each shot, and it becomes twice as hard to play the game. So imagine somebody that knows how to play the game but is constantly changing their sensitivity. They're always having to overthink things. When you shouldn't think with your brain when you're taking a shot, you should think with your muscles. I know, it sounds crazy, but you really should. You should let your muscles do the thinking for you. And the only way to get good at that is to practice so much with the sensitivity that feels right for you that it becomes embedded in your muscles. Muscle memory. That is going to help you so much. So much. Okay, so basically, all that talking I did was to tell you, find a sensitivity that feels comfortable. Don't worry what little Johnny over there is doing, or little Nick with the quick scoping. Fuck those guys. Do you. Do what works for you. And don't matter if people don't worry about what other people say, you know. Dude's gonna be like, oh, my sensitivity is 100. So what? You want a fucking cookie for having 100 sensitivity? Somebody else is gonna be like, my sensitivity is 72.5278%. Fuck off. Just let me let me play with my own sensitivity, alright? Don't worry about what other people's sensitivity are. Get that muscle memory kicked in and go from there. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the sensitivity, except that you should keep in mind that if you're a slower player, if your hand-eye coordination is slow and it takes you some time to react, or if you like to play far away, consider a lower sensitivity. If you're like me and you like to play medium range most of the time and occasionally run up onto an objective and do some close range sniping, consider sensitivity somewhere in the middle. And like I said, this works for mouse or controller. It doesn't matter. And if you like to get in close to the action every time, no exceptions, you will definitely want to use a high sensitivity. And I have a feeling that will work out for you, because if you're the type of player that likes to be up close, chances are your hand-eye coordination is excellent. You can react incredibly fast, and you need a higher sensitivity that keeps up with your brain. It's the other way around. Your sensitivity needs to be so high it keeps up with the fast pace that your brain is moving. So, having said that, you guys should now be masters at what sensitivity you should be using. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about accuracy. Accuracy is directly related to sensitivity, in my opinion, because if you don't have your sensitivity figured out, it's going to be pretty hard for you to be an accurate sniper, or just a gunner, whatever you might be. This doesn't just apply to snipers. I think snipers require the most accuracy because you have to wait so long in between each shot, but other guns require accuracy too. So this goes for everything. Now, just because you have your sensitivity mastered doesn't automatically mean that you're going to hit everything that you aim at. There's a lot of different factors in this game that come into play. So the number one rule for me that I give myself is basically, you know, getting used to the game and practicing as much as possible. Learning how players move so you can predict their movements. As a sniper, it is very important to be able to predict how the player is going to move. Are they running in a straight line? Are they about to go through a doorway? Are they about to run behind a wall? Are they about to jump? Are they about to see you and start shooting at you? All these come into play, and the only way you can get better at this is to constantly practice the game. The second rule I have for accuracy for myself, for snipers, this one is exclusively for snipers. Well, I guess this one actually would apply to everybody too. Watch your crosshairs, your red dot, or whatever reticle you might have. Instead of focusing directly on the enemy, focus on your crosshairs and leave the enemy in your peripheral vision, if you will. You need to know exactly where your crosshairs are in order to be accurate, and this is while you're aiming down sights. When it comes to your hipfire crosshairs, you should try not to scope in until you've got the enemy dead center on your screen or almost there. As you practice, you'll be able to start pulling your scope up as you move your crosshairs towards the enemy, and that's basically the first step in learning to quickscope right there, is being able to center your target on your screen or center your target as you actually start pulling the sight up so that you can aim down sights. So yeah, rule number one, practice and learn the movements. Rule number two, watch your crosshair as opposed to the enemy. So when you get that sight pulled up, keep your eye dead center on that crosshair, move it to where the enemy is if it's not already there, and pull the trigger. If you watch the enemy too much, your crosshair is going to be in your peripheral vision, and you're probably going to lose a little bit of accuracy on that. Some people play all kinds of different ways, but I prefer to keep the crosshair centered in my vision as the main point of interest. Obviously, you have to look at the enemy to see where they are, but you can look at the crosshair and the enemy at the same time while keeping the crosshair your main focal point. This has helped me tremendously, and I kind of figured this out on my own. I learned a lot of tips and tricks from watching other YouTube videos and stuff like that. Actually, I don't watch that much YouTube. I learned most of the stuff on my own, but I have learned some amazing tips and tricks for other games just by watching YouTube videos. And I can go into a brand new game, and after a few hours of playing it, I can almost feel like a pro because I've seen, you know, all the tips and tricks that people use. So I hope you guys use this to your advantage, and I hope this video was helpful about sensitivity and accuracy in Battlefield. This probably would apply to any other first-person or third-person shooters that are similar to Battlefield. So make sure you check out my other videos with more tips and tricks and funny things and all kinds of stuff. And if you've stuck around this long, let me just promote my channel a little bit more by asking you to tune in to the live streams every Monday and Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Thank you guys on YouTube. 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. I always forget to say that. Monday, Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video, and I hope you have a wonderful day or night, whatever time it might be where you're watching this. Later, guys.
the bear.